Hey guys, this is Karaleise Warman, and today I'm very excited and very pumped up because I'm going to be talking to you about how to break into business analysis when you have no experience. I mean, this is one of the biggest problems that people face. So if you're having this problem where you want to become a business analyst but you have no work experience, I have some really good actionable steps for you. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. See you in a minute. Everyone, and thank you for staying with me. And today we're going to be talking about the stuff that you came to hear about, which is how to become a business analyst with no experience. So this is a very important topic to me because so many people struggle with this. Luckily for us though, business analysis and programming are two of the careers, and there are others, but those are the two I know of that you can break into without having the work experience in the traditional sense, meaning that you can find ways around this problem, and I'm going to share with you what that is right now. So before I get into that though, first, if you want to become a business analyst, the first thing I would say is, do you know what business analysis is? Become very familiar with business analysis. So find out more about the career, find out more about, what it is that you're going to be doing, and what does the business analyst do every day to make sure that this is something that you can see yourself doing every single day you go to work. It's good to find out exactly what it is. So I have a video, which I'm going to put the link in the description or somewhere up here, where I talk about what is business analysis and what do business analysts do. So you can check that out to get a better understanding of the field, and then you can assess whether or not you really want to do this as your career. Now, if you've done that and you still feel like you want to be a business analyst, then the first thing you need to do, I would say, is to learn some basic programming. Now, business analysts don't write code every day. We don't build software from the coding up, but we need to understand the concepts, the technical jargons, the ways that things are programmed, so that when we are writing requirements or user stories or use cases, we can put it in the best way to translate from that into code. So you're not learning it necessarily to go and do coding, but you need to be able to understand what the coders have to deal with so that you can translate properly. And also there are some languages that you might have to actually do yourself. Like sometimes you might have to write queries, so you need to learn SQL, so you want to brush up on that. I would recommend SQL, HTML, web technologies, HTML, CSS, and also maybe a little server side like a PHP, a Python. But don't get too caught up about learning it, extremely well. You're just wanting to understand how does it work. And in essence, if you know one programming language, you understand object-oriented code, you don't need to know all of them. It's just basic, okay? So that's the first thing you want to do, learn basic programming. The other thing you want to do is, this is the big one, gain some experience, right? Which is the problem that we all have, which is, how do you gain experience? Nobody give you a job for you to have that experience. I get it. Believe me, I understand. But we have to be creative. We have to be willing to extend ourselves. We have to be willing to come up with things that, others might not be doing. So you have to be willing to do a little bit more because you don't have the experience. So my suggestion is this, okay? Listen to this. When you have no experience, the best thing you can do is you can create your experience. Create your own work experience. Now, how do you do this? You do this by case studies, okay? So you are a business analyst, so you're aspiring to become a business analyst. What a business analyst is going to be faced with every single day are problems, business problems. And you're going to have to find ways using tools and techniques to solve these problems for the business. So you can show that you have a good understanding, a good grasp of business analysis, and you can be a good business analyst by showing that in a case study. So you can look for a problem in a business that you've personally encountered. You can look for just a situation that you can fix, and you're going to apply all of the tools and techniques you're going to learn from the Babok. First of all, you know, this is a sidebar, but you need to be very familiar with the Babok if you're going to be a business analyst, okay? So you've learned all these techniques and so on. You're going to apply that into a business problem that you encounter. And then you create your documents, you create your requirements, you create your flow charts, you create your user stories sometimes, and you have this document of work that you'll use as your work sample. And so when you go into an interview and they ask you, hey, we don't see you having worked in business analysis, you know, you have no experience, you say, yes, I really haven't worked formally as a business analyst, but I love the career so much. I know so much about the field. I even solve problems that I encounter personally based on how I would if I was, you know, a business analyst with that company. So I have here a sample of some of the work I've done, and you can go through and explain your problem and how you solved it, how you went about to solve it, and show them examples of the type of work that you do. And believe me, that will have a bigger impact on an employer who's looking to employ somebody in the business analyst field than if you went in there with nothing. To say, oh, I don't have an experience, but I'm going to gain some when you employ me. You know, you can show them that you are forward thinking, and this is how you would solve the problem. Now, the only way this is going to backfire on you is if you don't understand business analysis and you don't apply the techniques properly. So make sure your work sample is perfect, okay? You can even give it out to other people who are in the field to review for you and kind of make sure you're understanding the concepts properly and so on. But I guarantee that if you have this work sample, that can be used as an example of, you know, of your job, the quality of work you can produce, and that could take the place of a work experience. Of course, sometimes, you know, it's not going to be easy. People might say we want 5 years of experience and so on. I mean, you can't fight that. But if you're trying to get an entry-level position or a junior BA position, you could use that as proof that you're that much invested in the career, and that could help you. That's what you do. The other thing that you can do to break into business analysis is to learn the tools. So most of what we use are just standard Microsoft tools. So Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint are going to be the 3 big ones. But we also use Visio. Microsoft Visio is a diagramming tool. You use it to build your use case diagrams, your flow diagrams, and so on. They already come with all the little shapes that you need, and you just pull them over and create your flow. So that's important to know as well. But if you don't have Microsoft Visio, then you can use other tools online, like Lucid Chart is very good. It's online. It's free, I think, for 14 days or something. But you just need it for, you know, a short time anyway. There's a lot of open source tools as well. I'll put the link below of the open source ones that you can use to build your, you know, your diagrams and so on. You also need to learn just presentation skills, you know, how to create a good presentation. So it's really mainly your Microsoft products. You need to make mock-ups. For that, I recommend Balsamic. It's pretty good. But there's a number of other ones that are also good, and I'll also have a link to that. I have a video on tools and techniques that you can use for business analysis. So you can find it on my channel as well. I'll put a link somewhere.